Okay, good evening. I'd like to welcome you all here to the Kappa Delta Pi annual induction. This is the largest group of inductees we've ever had. And in order to become a member of Kappa Delta Pi, the Education Honor Society, you have to have a 3.0 GPA overall, a 3.5 GPA in education courses. You would have had to have completed at least 12 credits in education, and you also have to be a student of the highest character. So I'm sure you're as proud of these students as we are. You can applaud them. Thank you. I would like first to introduce some key people to our program. First, members of the Education Department, Dr. McNamara. Dr. Reeks Rogers. Just a word about Dr. Reeks Rogers. She has one of the heaviest loads in our department, teaching courses in foundations. And simultaneously, she was able to get her doctorate recently from Columbia, so we're very proud of her. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Gare. Our fearless leader and chair of the department, Dr. Richard Giaquinto. Our administrative assistant and an honoree tonight who does an incredible job for us, Lisa Paolucci. Lisa does not have her doctorate yet, but she's working on it. So we expect her to have that before too long. I'd now like to introduce Dr. Giaquinto, who will introduce our first honoree. Dr. G.
Whoa, Lisa gets to stand next to Lisa. I'll say something about her later on. We rehearsed this, right? Yeah. Okay. Raymond, I'm sorry. But he knows us. You know, Raymond knows how we get along in the department. Let me read to you something about Mr. Gregory over there, who's a real find for us. We try to keep it a secret because he's so good. We don't want the other departments to get to know how great he is. So this is his bio. Raymond Gregory is a native of Brooklyn. That explains a lot. He attended Stuyvesant High School, the Polytechnic Institute of NYU, and received a degree in abstract math. He started working in software development in the late 1980s and has done such work in the industries of apparel, import-export, manufacturing, managed care, and education. What a variety. Later this year, he will have completed his 20th year in software development and his 5th year at St. Francis. Interests included, I know this, because we talk a lot about it, music, policy and history studies, natural living issues, and climate and nature issues. He currently seeks to prepare a music album for publication. I'm going to just say something that's not written here. Is that okay, Dr. Sure. About 3 years ago, we had a visit from the accreditation agency, and they spent 3 days here. And it was a very difficult 3 days for us, but we passed, and we did quite well. One of the things they said we needed to develop is a data system so that I could pull up your scores on your math exams and whatever, what gate you're in, and I had no idea how to do this. And Mr. Gregory came to the rescue, and let me tell you, it's state-of-the-art. State-of-the-art system. I even presented some of it at a conference in Washington, And the people were like amazed at what he has come up with. And he has made our lives really easier. And he will help you in terms of your accreditation. So let me turn it over to Lisa. Raymond, thank you.
Those of you that are on this side of the podium can see that there's a shiny golden apple on the table here, which we will momentarily present to Ray. Most of us are familiar with the tradition of students presenting their teachers with apples at the beginning of the school year to express their eagerness. Tonight, this golden apple represents the gratitude, respect, and friendship of the Education Department for our colleague Raymond Gregory, who never hesitates to give of himself, who has often served as a teacher to us, and who consistently presents himself as a true gentleman, going above and beyond his obligations. So we're very happy and proud to ask Ray to come up to receive this symbol award.
Okay, I'd now like to introduce the members of the dais, two of whom will be up to in a few minutes to introduce our next honoree. First, Jacqueline Maditz, one of our leaders. I have the pleasure of observing Jackie and her student teaching at PS 128 in Middle Village. And she gets nothing but the highest marks from everybody, secretary, school principal, assistants, everyone. So we're very proud of her for that. I'd also like to introduce Anam Ethel, who is our next president of Kappa Delta Pi. This has been far and away the most successful year we've ever had with Kappa. I've been the moderator of Kappa Delta Pi for 8 years, and nothing comes close to what we've achieved this year. We're nationally known at headquarters in Indianapolis, and we're being considered for a national award. And that is a credit to Jessica Lynch, who is our vice president. Jessica? And our president, Michelle Rosenberg. I'd also like to introduce our co-moderator, who's not feeling 100% tonight, but she got here anyway, Dr. Marissa Cohen. And now I'd like to ask Anam, Jessica, and Michelle to come forward to introduce our next honoree.
Good evening. Hi, everyone. So, I'm new this semester. I'm becoming president in the fall. And when Michelle was student teaching and I didn't have someone to run to, I didn't know what to do. It's very overwhelming being a leader. And absolutely everything I didn't know this semester, I learned from Lisa. And she's just the sweet, you all know, if you're an ed major, she's just who you go to for everything. She's the sweetest. And I'm just so glad that I had you. Especially, she'd let me use the ed office. I was there 24/7. She probably thinks I'm really annoying, but I love her. She's the best, so thank you so much.
She literally has a solution to every problem like that I've ever had. If I ever need an appointment, I was like, Lisa, can I please make an appointment with Dr. G? And I'm sure Dr. G is tired of seeing me this semester, but she's always there for me, and honestly, when she's not there, we're all lost, because she's literally what holds everything together.
So, on behalf of the Kappa Delta Pi Honor Society, we just wanted to thank you for your dedication and support this entire year. You've been everything to us, so this is like a big thank you.
Okay, have to move it up there. It's my pleasure now to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Jessica Schrank. Jess graduated from St. Francis College in 2009, and I was a supervisor at James Madison High School. And I remember sitting in the back of the room watching her teach, and the chair was sitting next to me. And he leaned over and said, "So Dr. Leibman, what do you think?" And I said, "Wow." I said, "What an incredible teacher." Jess graduated in May of 2009, got a degree in counseling from Alfred University. And back then, 2009, 2010, there were a number of cuts with the Board of Ed. You know, for all practical purposes, there was a bit of a job freeze. And in October of 2009, I got a call from a frantic principal. "Dr. Leibman, you have to help me out. I need somebody like yesterday to teach English." I said, "Well, wait a second, what happened to the teacher who was there starting in September?" And she says, "Oh, I'm afraid the kids ran her right out of the school." She said, "I need somebody who's strong, who's dedicated, and who's going to whip these kids into shape." And I said, "Hey, have I got a teacher for you?" And I got in touch with Jess on a Wednesday. She went for the interview on Thursday. There was only one problem. She had plans to go on a trip to San Diego, which she put on hold because she started teaching on Monday, a couple of days later. About 3 or 4 weeks later, I got a call from the principal. "So Dr. Leibman, do you have anybody else like Jessica Schrank?" Earlier this semester, Jess asked if she could bring some students from her present school for a tour of the school and some presentations by staff. And I said, of course. And I have to tell you, I was really struck by the way her students responded to her. I mean, it was so clear to me that she's changing lives on a daily basis. We're very proud of her, and I'd like to introduce Jessica Schrank.
I have to move this back down. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to begin by saying how honored I am to be here speaking to the Kappa Delta Pi inductees. A big congratulations to all of you. Kappa Delta Pi's mission is to sustain an honored community of diverse educators by promoting excellence and advancing scholarship, leadership, and service. It is those three things, scholarship, leadership, and service, that I believe the career of education to be about. Over the past 6 years since graduating, I have learned something about my students, myself, and the world around me every single day. As an educator, your education should be ongoing. If we are not open to the idea of learning from life experiences, how can we impart wisdom and deep thinking onto others? Some of my first lessons include to expect the unexpected and to step out of your comfort zone. What Dr. Leibman didn't tell you is, my first school was in an unsafe, busy, and unfamiliar area where I eventually felt at home. After 2 years teaching there, our principal informed the staff that we would be phasing out. Given my lack of experience, that meant that I would be one of the first teachers accessed. After months of career fairs, interviews, and open market hunting, I received a phone call from a former Marine turned principal asking to meet me. With my observations, lesson plans, numerous student work samples, and a pair of squeaky heels in tow, I ventured to Bushwick, Brooklyn, a foreign part of the borough I am native to as well. Hey, fellow Brooklynite. 3 years later, which is today, I am a tenured teacher and guidance counselor with my own classroom and office in the 18th best high school in the city and the 410th best school in the nation. While continuing to learn is essential, your service as a pedagogue is necessary. Teachers can plan, demonstrate, model, and grade perfectly, but if they aren't connecting with students on a different level, then their service is only half complete. I implore each and every one of you to reflect on what you're training to do. Change the future of tomorrow. When you are eventually placed in a school, extend your service. This can be with a how are you to being the teacher who chaperones the dance no one else wants to be a part of. Your students will need you in more ways than you can imagine. Provide the service of compassion and you're guaranteed to have a rewarding career. Lastly, leadership. The only way I know how to be a leader is because I was lucky enough to have amazing people be a part of the journey that led me to you guys today. Dr. Liebman has encouraged me to keep going when I didn't see the strength in myself. He got me my first teaching job, informed me about the graduate program I enrolled in and graduated from, invited me here today and many times before, and became the example I try to emulate. So thank you for being the best leader. The other two leaders are here today. The other two leaders are here today, but you guys don't know them. They are my mother and stepfather. They supported all of my smart and poor life choices. They never made me feel worthless, but also instilled in me a sense that if you want to feel worthy, then you must work for that entitlement. They have seen me at my best and worst and have never faltered as ideal leaders. I want to thank them for that, and they're back there. The question becomes, how does this connect to you guys? As members of an honor society and future teachers, be cognizant of the fact that other leaders helped make you the leader you are. Thank them for that. Work in their honor and be a leader for others. I leave you tonight with the amazing words from Dr. Seuss's "Oh, the Places You'll Go," because I know each of you are already on the path to success. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brain in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Congratulations and good luck to you all.
Thank you, Jess. Okay, now I think it's time for the induction. Will our leadership please stand? Dr. Cohen also.
Education is a vital societal force that encourages universal welfare and individual progress. Education is the cornerstone of democracy and the foundation of personal fulfillment. The purpose of Kappa Delta Pi, International Honor Society in Education, is to promote excellence in and recognize outstanding contributions to education. The Society endeavors to maintain a high degree of fellowship among its members, promote professional growth, and honor achievement in educational work. To these ends, Kappa Delta Pi invites to membership only those persons who exhibit commendable professional qualities, worthy educational ideals, and sound scholarship, without regard to race, age, culture, religion, gender, or disability. Your presence at this initiation ceremony indicates your desire to become a member of Kappa Delta Pi, and to seek the bond of our common purpose, to promote excellence in and recognize outstanding contributions to education.
Honor societies conduct rituals and ceremonies to impress upon their members the ideals and duties to which they adhere. Members of Kappa Delta Pi have cherished the society's ideals and accepted the concepts of duty established when the organization was founded.
Inductees, please stand. As candidates for the privileges of membership in Kappa Delta Pi, do you desire to learn more about these ideals, If so, you will answer, I do. The first ideal, We present for your acceptance the ideals of this society. The first ideal is that of fidelity to humanity. This ideal implies faith in the potential of human beings and in the improvement of human condition through education. Compassion in the context one has as an educator with humanity, and dedication to the concept that through continuous education based on equal opportunity, persons of all ages, races, and creeds will find increased opportunity for experiencing more meaningful lives. All of this is implied in the ideal of fidelity to humanity. Do you accept this ideal of fidelity to humanity? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do. The second is the ideal of science. This ideal implies that, as an educator, one will be faithful to the cause of free inquiry and strive to eliminate prejudice and superstition by withholding judgment until accurate and adequate evidence is obtained. One will not distort evidence to support a favorite theory, not be blinded by the new or spectacular, nor condemn the old simply because it is old. All of this is implied in the ideal of science. Do you accept this ideal of science? If so, you will answer, I do. I do.
The third ideal is that of service. This ideal is the very essence of education, which seeks advancement not merely for self, but for society as well. The incentive of the great educators of the world has been their desire to serve humanity. Service in education implies living so that others are strengthened and inspired and striving for the achievement of justice, peace, and a better way of life for all. All of this is implied in the ideal of service. Do you accept this ideal of service? If so, you will answer, I do.
I do. The final ideal is that of toil, the will to do the task that must be done, whether the task pleases one or not, and faith in the social necessity and intrinsic reward of the education profession. It implies working with such faith and zeal that others are won to the cause of education. If one life has been given greater freedom and nobler vision, toil has not been in vain. All of this is implied in the ideal of toil. Do you accept this ideal of toil? If so, you will answer, I do. I do.
Our society's emblem incorporates the scroll, the stylus, the beehive, and the characters Kappa Delta Pi. Many of the treasures of antiquity, which form the foundation of modern education, rest upon scrolls of papyrus. The golden scroll, therefore, is the foundation of our emblem. The shaft running through the scroll is the stylus, the first instrument known to be used in making letters and figures. The beehive symbolizes toil. The characters Kappa Delta Pi represent our motto, knowledge, duty, power, words expressing the entire meaning of our educational ideals.
The purpose and ideals of Kappa Delta Pi are now known to you. Are you ready to take the obligation of membership in Kappa Delta Pi? If so, you will answer, I am.
I am.
Please repeat after me the obligation of the society. Well, actually, you didn't have to do that. You guys are really paying attention. That's great. I promise to abide by the Constitution and bylaws of Kappa Delta Pi, and to cooperate to expand the influence of its purpose and ideals. I now declare you members of Kappa Delta Pi, International Honor Society in Education, pledged to be faithful to its ideals and worthy to enter into the bonds of fellowship with its members.
We greet you as colleagues in the quest for a full, knowledgeable, and useful life. We are united in a profession whose purpose and challenge is to inspire young and old to grow by using their heritage, to develop a concern for the needs of others, and to strengthen moral character and personality so that collectively, as members of Kappa Delta Pi, we may be worthy examples of a rich, wholesome life. To these purposes and challenges, in firm faith, we devote our lives. So to teach, that our words inspire a will to learn. So to serve, that each day may enhance the growth of exploring minds. So to live, that we may guide young and old to know the truth and love the right. To the fulfillment of these objectives, we pledge our efforts and our faith.
It is my privilege and honor to congratulate you and welcome you into Kappa Delta Pi. And if you would please be seated. I'd like to invite the members of the Education Department, Ms. Paolucci, Dr. G, Dr. Gare, Dr. Reeks Rogers, and Dr. McNamara to come forward to help us with the distribution of medals. Our first inductee, Sherelle Blackman. There's something to be said about having too many cooks, huh? Jacqueline Camacho. Ronnie Campilia. Daniela Capitamino. Janae Castillo Fassi. Chris Devaney. Carly Eldred. Innocentia Clarita Felix. Check that. Clarissa is here. Hang on one second.
Would you come over here? This is your seat over here.
Nicholas Ferraro. Anne-Marie Gambino. Christina Gatto. Amanda Cotier. Nicole Giardino. Justine Grimley. Xavier Guerrero.
Mom, I did it!
Yasmin Hassan. Regina Henriquez. Christina Hernandez. Tashawna Jennings. Mary Kate Looney. Danny McAdam. Devin O'Donnell. Christina Perez. Peter Pinto. Stephanie Praneth. Amanda Polano. Alexis Rivera. Jillian Signer. Venice Smith. Christina Soma. Incidentally, I'd like to point out that Christina was our activity coordinator this year. Just an incredible job. Victoria Sortino. And Victoria has also done a great job for us this year, and she told me today that she got a job working with the Yankees. I happened to mention casually that Dr. G and I are both baseball fans. Crystal Soto. Alyssa Trapani. Dwayne Waters. How about a round of applause for all of our And how about a round of applause for our crack education staff?
So our 2015-2016 president of Kappa Delta Pi is Anam Afzal.
Okay, so the next two are a surprise. Our 2015-2016, should I say both? Vice Presidents, Jillian Signer and Victoria Sortino.
Okay, and this person deserves too much recognition right now because she's done so much for our chapter in general. Our event coordinator for the 2015-2016 year is Christina Soma. Thank you so much for everything.
Okay, thank you, Michelle and Jessica. As I said, this has been an incredible year for us with Kappa, and it has to do with the leadership of all of our students, but in particular, the leaders that we mentioned. I'd like to now bring Dr. G forward for a couple of words in closing. And then we're going to, after Dr. G finishes, we're going to invite all of the inductees forward for as many pictures as you want to take. Dr. G.
Really funny. One of the inductees came to me in the cafeteria the other day. I looked at her and she looked at me and she said, "Man, you don't know who I am." And I tell you the truth, it was one of those long days. She's laughing right now. But don't you feel good? Don't you feel good? I mean, these kids are just an amazing group of young people. The thing that amazes me about them is that all of them probably work a job outside of going to school. And at the same time, they study and they do all that's expected of them. So I think they deserve a round of applause. But I sort of say the same thing every year. And I want to thank the parents, caregivers, and the audience who send us these young people to work with, because they come to us ready to do the serious work that we require of them. So parents, we thank you for sending these young people to us. And before I thank some people here, there's a couple things I want to say, just a couple things I want to say to them. And I think they've heard me talk about this, and I really feel strongly about it. I just hope I can say it correctly. You're going to change this system. We need change. And you all heard politicians say, "Man, this is the economic gap between this group and this group and this group," and they go in circles and never get anything done. never get anything done. They just make us angry and confused. But you guys, that's going to be your job, to inspire the kids that you'll be teaching, to get them to achieve to the state that they will also contribute to the society. Because nobody realizes the job that teachers do. In your work, you're walking into that profession, and I challenge you to use the desire and the passion you have now to make that change in the children of this city. Okay? All right? Remember that. I challenge you. I want to thank a lot of people tonight. Dr. Lyman, what am I going to say about Dr. Lyman? He really does an exceptional job putting this together and working with the students and modeling for them what leadership really is, as Jessica said. If you don't know, Dr. Lyman has a book that's coming out that we're probably going to be using in student teaching. It's about how to get a job out there, and things like that. So, Dr. Lyman, thank you very much. I want to thank the leadership of Kappa. I'm astounded by the things you do. Really am. And I thank you. Marissa Cohn is a professor in the psych department, and I always kid her that we're going to steal her someday. I thank you for your cooperation. I want to thank some other people. Somebody who keeps my sanity, and there are days where I lose it, but you never know it. Lisa, I thank God for you every day. So give Lisa now I have faculty that I walk around this building going, ha ha ha, we get along, we work together, and even though I got gray hair and stuff, but they really work really well together. And let me mention them. Dr. McNamara, please stand. Physical education, a great teacher, researcher. Thank you, Dr. McNamara, for coming tonight. Let's see. Debbie. Oh, excuse me. Where is she? Get up, Debbie. Professor Reeks Rogers or Dr. Reeks Rogers. As I will say, because both Dr. Reeks and I go back a long time, she really kicks it, right? Dr. Reeks Rogers. She's good. She's interesting to listen to. She gives me a lot of advice, and she scares me sometimes when I am on the wrong track. But I thank her. Thank you so much. And then we have Dr. Marita Gare. Please stand. If I had a daughter, I have grandchildren right here. If I had a daughter, that would probably be the daughter that I would love to have. Dr. Gare is they're all amazing. She's just amazing also. So Dr. Gare, please stand up. I'm glad you're laughing. That means you're awake. And Dr. Lyman, stand up. I got a new name for you. Mr. Smooth. Isn't he smooth? He's so smooth. I think half the schools in Brooklyn have teachers from our school working for them because of Dr. Lyman, and I really appreciate what he does for us. So I'm very fortunate. I have a very good staff. I have very good students. I tell them all the time, why don't you come dressed like this to class? You don't get A's. I congratulate you. And I challenge you to what I said earlier, okay? And I don't want to keep you from the food that's awaiting you. I thank you very much for coming tonight. Jessica, thank you for coming. Raymond, my dear friend, thank you and good evening.